Hi, this is Sylph here, and you are about to watch me play Xenonauts, a strategy game in which you are given command of a covert organization tasked with the investigation and subsequent extermination of the extraterrestrial threat posed by an unknown enemy. If this sounds vaguely familiar, there's a good chance it does, because this game is a reimagining of the original UFO Enemy Unknown, or XCOM Ufo Defense, as it was called in the US, made in 1994 by a company called Microprose. Now, this game has risen to recent prominence by the reboot produced by Firaxis, which has somehow obtained the rights, I'm not sure the particulars, and made XCOM Enemy Unknown, a rather more well-known game, one of the best strategy games to come out in recent years, in my opinion at least. I'm a huge fan of it. Xenonauts, on the other hand, goes way back in time and essentially takes a lot of the mechanics from the original XCOM Ufo Defense and brings them into a more polished and, well, more playable experience for modern PCs. Relatively speaking, because the engine it was made for was not the best choice ever made, and it does not look nearly as good as XCOM Enemy Unknown, but it has its charm. At least I think so. Though I haven't played very much of it as of yet. I haven't gotten past the first month yet, because I have this illness where I have to constantly reboot all the time, because I am not 100% satisfied with how things are going. This is one of the reasons why I love Ancient Domains of Mystery so much, because it doesn't let me do that. I can only restart if I die, and as long as I haven't died, I don't see a reason to restart. But in this kind of game, it's hard for me to stick with it. That's not actually relevant to any of you. So let's... I'm pretty sure you're giving me the same kind of disapproving looks these guys have been giving right now. Yes, Colonel, stop talking and get with a job. Alright, I'm gonna work on it. Now, because I kind of suck at the original XCOM Ufo Defense, I love playing it, I'm just not all that good at it. Of course, I have decided for my Let's Play, given that I've previously always used the normal difficulty and have been doing kind of okay at it, it's probably a good idea to completely throw that out of the window and go with veteran difficulty instead, because I have to offer you some entertainment. I will also activate Iron Man mode, because that is the closest to the experience that I get in a roguelike game. I don't get to reload if I make a mistake. All my soldiers stay dead. Let's do this thing. Now, first step is to establish my primary base. Now, you generally want to cover as much land space as possible, because as far as I understand it, while a UFO is flying over land unopposed, the people of those countries will say, hang on, why aren't you shooting them down? What are we paying you for? And they will lower their funding appropriately unless you shoot the UFO down. So you want to cover as much land space as possible, because no one cares if UFOs fly over water, except maybe the fish, and the fish don't have money. So, at the beginning, you want to cover as much land real estate as possible and as much of the profitable nations as possible. Now, Europe is, of course, has the highest fund. I believe would be the best value for money for real estate you could get. But of course, Europe is easy to cover with one single base. So you can actually afford, I would say, to establish a base in North Africa, cover most of Africa and the Middle East, as well as most of Europe, with one base. I believe that would be the wisest course of action. I've looked it up, and apparently it's one of the most recommended locations you can get. So let's go with that. Now we will get, of course, given that the aliens are out-tech us, they have much better stuff, they have much better science, they have flying saucers and faster than light travel and everything, our only weapon is guile and cunning. Therefore, I have decided to name our first base not a base, in the hopes that this will deter would-be invaders to look for our base of operations in a different location. I am a genius. Now, this here is the base management screen. Like in XCOM Ufo Defense and like in XCOM Enemy Unknown, the game is divided in two portions, which is the strategy portion, in which you build up your base, manage your soldiers, and so on, plan missions and stuff, and the actual ground combat, which I'm sure we'll be getting to later on in this video. The first element of the strategy game is base management. You can expand your base with additional facilities. Of course, you can also remove existing facilities to make room for other facilities, and so on. The first thing I would like to do at the beginning is build a second radar array, which will improve my radar range and allow me to cover more of the African continent and go a bit eastwards into the Soviet Union and the rest of Asia, I believe. Unlike the original XCOM, the radar detection is, I think, perfect. In the original XCOM, your radar arrays only had a certain percentage of a chance to detect an alien ship every such and such seconds. Here, I think this problem doesn't exist, but additional radar arrays actually expand the detection range. Because I don't know exactly how that works, because one powers up the other. Not sure, but it probably is worth it to buy at least one additional radar array, so that's what I'm going to do. Now, as you can see, personnel capacity is already close to max with a starting base, so a second set of living quarters would be okay. Would be a good idea. And I do not yet own a medical center, and I have the feeling this would probably not be a bad thing to have down the road. Unless I'm planning not to have my soldiers shot, which I am, but let's be realistic for a moment there. Now, next screen is the research screen, which in the beginning isn't yet very exciting because there's one topic of research available and I'm already working on it. I can, however, hire additional scientists, but I will delay that for a moment. You might soon see why. This is the engineering screen, I believe, the workshop screen exactly, where you can manufacture new items with your engineers. I do have engineers, but I can't actually build anything yet, so that's not interesting yet either. Let's move on to the soldier screen, which is probably the most interesting at the moment. You start out the game apparently with 12 soldiers with differing skills, and a set of different stats. There's some more than in XCOM Enemy Unknown, but far less than there were in the original XCOM Ufo Defense. The game simplifies this a little bit. Now, the remaining stats that exist are TUS, which stands for time units, and roughly speaking, it tells you how quick the soldier is at doing the things he can do. HPs, which are health points, hit points, which tell you how quick how much punishment a soldier can take before they bite it. We have strength, which tells us how much a soldier can carry, and is important in the use of heavy weapons. We have accuracy, which tells us whether they can hit the broadside of a barn, or whether they cannot hit a broadside barn, or occasionally whether it can hit even better. I can already see I have a couple of really good accuracy soldiers here, right here. There's RFL, which stands for reflexes. This is a bit more complex. Reflexes tell us how good a soldier is at reacting to alien attacks or aliens showing up during the alien turn. We'll get back to that in combat later. And there's BRV, which stands for bravery and tells us how quick the soldier generally is gonna shit their pants once things go badly, in a word. All of these stats, now a soldier doesn't have to be good at everything, and few of them ever are, but each stat gives the soldier different abilities that are predestined for different roles. The game initially sets a couple of roles, which are only default roles. You can define them and equip them differently and define new roles if you want to. For instance, it has given this role of sniper to my most accurate soldier, and the role of assault to my 2 soldiers with the best HP. In this case, I think it prioritizes assault, so it made this guy an assault and this guy the sniper, even though above 70. And it assigned the role of heavy weapons to my strongest soldier, because strength is very important with heavy weapons, which I can probably explain too. But let's move on next to the soldier equipment screen, where we can actually see these individual guys and look at what they and equip them individually. This can take a lot of time if you want to fine-tune all of that stuff, but you also have the ability to give them equipment according to their roles. You can also design new default equipment for the different roles. Let's not go too deep into that. I'll have another look at this screen here. I think I can agree with the assigned roles here. Of course, though a 40 TU's assault is probably somewhat awkward to actually use, because they're a bit too slow to be really all that good at assaulting. But I don't really have a good second option as far as HPs goes, I think, and I don't really know how to play this game anyway. Now, this is also where you can set which soldiers you're bringing on your next mission. Charlie 1 is my troop transporter, so a soldier assigned to Charlie 1 will fly on that troop transport if I send it out. The 2 unassigned soldiers are the ones I am currently not taking with me. Now, while I do like Xenia Andropova, that's a funny touch. The game comes with a novella in which Xenia Andropova is the daughter of a soldier who sacrificed their life in defense of the alien threat, and this is not really relevant at all. Unfortunately, Xenia Andropova cannot hit the broadside of a barn, and thus I will have her stay at home and take Victoria Jackson instead, who can actually aim for shit and is still reasonably fast. Though I'm tempted to leave out Marcus Larsson, because he's also not very fast, but he can at least shoot something. I will have another look at the higher soldier screen from here. I usually check this relatively frequently to see if there's anyone worth considering. In this case, I will actually hire Ana Martinez, because it's good to have reserves and because she happens to have relatively decent stat all across the board, with the weakest stat being strength, and strength is fairly irrelevant unless you actually want to make a heavy weapon soldier. So I'll go with that. One other thing that I want to do before I go, one puzzling thing about the starting equipment is that riflemen come with 2 spare rifle magazines, a medikit, and nothing else. And I usually add a grenade and a smoke grenade to that equipment and set that as default, and then give it to all my other riflemen now and in the future. This brings them to a carry weight of 18 kilograms, which is well before weight penalties have a chance to apply. Oh, this is probably going to be complicated. Now, I will explain how TUs work once we actually read combat. Now, the rest of the screens aren't all that relevant. These are the general stores. And as this friendly guy with a cigarette tells us, there's nothing in the stores at this base that you need to worry about, Commander. One thing that Xenonauts did away with that was a bit of a hassle in the original XCOM Ufo Defense is that it no longer has you manage all the ammunition and stuff for each individual weapon. In the equipment screen you can see all of these weapons have a quantity of infinity assigned. The assumption is that a covert organization that has the backing of all the major governments of the world wouldn't actually have that much of trouble buying bullets for pistols and shit like that. So that's good. Now the weapons available, which we can go right quick. The assault class usually uses a shotgun, which is a very destructive weapon in short range and basically uses in long range. For some reason, they are not equipped with a standard ballistic pistol as a backup weapon. But on the other hand, they don't really need it either, because there are other soldiers in the squad that should take over these roles. The next weapon is the ballistic rifle, worn by all the basic riflemen, which is basically your average old assault rifle. It has a burst shot mode that allows it to do more damage in close quarters, and it is reasonably accurate in longer range. It is basically the jack of all trades weapon. The sniper uses a sniper rifle, which has a bit more stopping power, and of course is more accurate over longer ranges, but is also a bit of a shitty weapon in close range. These guys actually do have a backup weapon in form of a pistol, though I don't use it all that often because it's a pretty decent weapon even in medium range. Besides, there's only one of these guys around. The heavy weapons guy uses a heavy machine gun. Contrary to original XCOM Ufo Defense, where you had a kind of heavy cannon, which was in effect an RPG weapon with rocket-propelled grenades, kind of like that. The only heavy weapon available, one of two heavy weapons available at the beginning of the game, is the machine gun, which fires a powerful burst of bullets that can obliterate any alien in its wake, but it's very slow to fire. You have to set it up. You basically have to set up at the beginning of your turn to have to fire it even once. We also have here a rocket launcher, which none of my soldiers is yet equipped with, and which apparently isn't part of the starting loadouts. And I guess we'll experiment with it later. The rocket explosion radius is not that as impressive as you may have seen it in the original XCOM Ufo Defense, so it might be somewhat of a lower priority choice now. Vehicle equipment. I don't own vehicles, and I haven't actually yet tried any vehicles because I kind of like the idea of rushing onto the battlefield with only our soft bellies and insufficient armor to protect our soldiers from enemy fire. And vehicles are armored and boring and useful, and we don't want that. Now, these are our aircraft. We have two interceptors equipped with missiles and an autocannon that should be decent enough at taking out the early alien UFOs. And our dropship, Charlie 1. We can see our impressive squad of soldiers here. Mika Lindgren, Rex Gonzalez, Joshua Martin, Nina Schneider, Yuma Takada, Marcus Larsson, Dora Hoffmann und Victoria Jackson. Godspeed, you guys. We'll see how many of you are alive once we're done with you with the first mission. Now, we're back to the Geoscape, a name which the game took over. Now, as you can see, time is actually already running. It's the 1st of September in 1979. This game being set not actually in the future, in a science fiction setting, but during the Cold War. Which the game, as admitted by developers, doesn't really do all that much about. Though it's kind of remarkable, actually, that your soldiers come from all walks of life, including the Soviet Union. Here we can set the speed of the game and increase it, which is probably a good idea, because if you play the game with this speed, nothing ever happens. You can also, if you get really impatient, increase the speed. One feature that this game has that previous UFO games do not have is that they actually report sightings of UFOs and mark them on the map, so you have a general idea of where UFO is currently doing its stuff without you being able to do anything about it. For instance, there was a UFO here, though it's now kind of dropped off the Earth and apparently decided to shoot over there and not actually enter our detection range. I could have attempted the moment. I'll try the following, actually. Each individual aircraft has a detection range of its own. So if I send out one of my interceptors near the place we detected that sighting, they might be able to spot the alien on their own. Now the Xenopedia opens, which usually means that our boffins, our researchers have actually managed to find something out. You've probably already noticed we're being invaded, Commander, so I won't state the obvious. The situation is bleak. None of the major powers are able to defend their own airspace, let alone protect the rest of the planet. It seems things are up to us. My team stands ready to help, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. The key to being our enemies is to understand them. There's a lot of explanations about that go into explaining the details and lending the general design decisions of the game some credence in the fluff, which we are not overly concerned about. But the gist of it is that our task is first get to find some more aliens to research and to build better interceptors to fight the alien UFOs, which is here. This opens 2 new projects for research: high-speed interceptor and hunter scout car, which is the first vehicle. What I usually do at this stage, I don't know if it's the right decision or not, I commence the project to research a high-speed interceptor. Then I usually remember, oh wait, I forgot to hire some more scientists, and do that. And we can move back to the land, to the map. Now they've detected another alien sighting over here, which is a dead zone. Apparently all the fish are dead in this region. You know that the aliens are dicks when they just kill all your fish. And we've actually detected our first ship full of alien scum. Holy crap. Now, its size is small. It actually happens to be grounded, which means that we can intercept it, try and intercept it straight away with our troop transport. And let's hope that they don't actually decide to take off or anything. Condor 1 has reached target. Yeah. Yeah, you can stay there and try to... Okay, let's fly downwards and see if we can catch the alien ship somewhere on the way. And we'll have you fly to the spot. Now... Yeah, that didn't work. Okay. Back to base. Now with the troop transport halfway, I will actually send out my second interceptor in the hopes that I can catch the UFO if it takes off, because I don't trust our chances here. They have a tendency to take off just in time, just before you can actually start a mission, but it wasn't necessary after all, because we can actually start our first mission. Now, what you saw up to now was the strategy part of the game, long-term strategy part of the game, taking place in the Geoscape. What we will now have here, I hope at least, once this loading screen is done, is the Battlescape, where we'll actually send our soldiers out to fight the alien threat. I am so excited. We have landed in a field of cabbage, from which I can deduce that the cabbage is actually of extraterrestrial origin, and we now have to take out all of the cabbage. But no such luck, because if there were any alien contact, there would be something down here, an indicator in the bottom right corner. So no, the cabbage is not alien at all. Now this is our Condor, our interceptor. These are individual soldiers. Now, if you actually haven't played any XCOM before, at least not the original XCOM, then maybe I should explain. The Battlescape alternates between XCOM turns and alien turns. First the XCOM soldiers move, then I end the turn and the aliens get to move and shoot and kill and everything. Each soldier has a set amount of health points, of course, as well as time units and morale. Morale should be maxed or basically all of the time, because you only lose morale if things go very, very wrong. But time units go down with every action a soldier takes. In the remake XCOM Enemy Unknown, the game was simplified to the point where you could make 2 actions per turn, usually 1 move action and 1 other action, which was usually shooting your weapon at alien scum. In this game, everything you do costs a set amount of town points, including moving, as well as just the mere act of turning around. As you can see, I will have 34 time units if I move to the square left from my original 41, because I have to turn around 1 fully, which costs 4 time units, because I have to turn 45 degrees 4 times to make 180 degrees, and then 3 time units to move a square. But I will do it anyway, because I want to look out of this door out of my Sky Ranger and see whether the coast is clear. I cannot actually detect an alien, so that is good. I will walk 1 step further and move on to another soldier, because I don't have to move them all at once. I can move them in increments and individually. Joshua Martin is an assault rifle, so he will be actually useful at long ranges, which means I don't really have to keep his time units around. But at the very least he can move out a bit and look for alien scum, and to his chagrin and to your entertainment, he's actually been successful. Now, we have here 1 alien. As you can see, pointing on that alien gives me a prompt that allows me to shoot it. Now, unfortunately, I'm equipped with a shotgun and there's some haystacks in the way. Which means that between the penalties for range and the complete blockage, complete cover provided by the haystack, that while I might be able to see the alien, presumably through some gaps in the hay, I actually have no way of shooting it with this particular guy. But I have spotted it, which allows me to use another soldier, hopefully, to kill it. Or shoot it some way. Now, if I can see it correctly, I should actually have a chance in hell at hitting it if I try it out of this hole here. Now, Dora Hoffman, Yuma Takada. Another important thing to consider is, of course, one of the actions that costs time units is shooting the weapon. Now, there are 4 different modes of fire in the game. Each weapon has different modes of fire available. For instance, the machine gun can only fire a complete full burst of machine gun ammunition, and this costs 36 time units to do. I could do it right now, but if I actually move over there to get in line of sight with the alien and have a clear shot at it, I run out of time units to do so. So what I would like nothing more than to unload a full burst of machine gun death on this vaguely reptilian looking alien thing, I will have to look for other options. Now this guy will not be useful. He also has a shotgun. This guy has a sniper rifle, which would ordinarily be pretty good, but he is the farthest away from being able to do anything about it. So I'll probably go with Dora Hoffman here. Hofmann, because there's only 1 F, and I'm actually German, so I know how to pronounce certain names. Dora here will try and move into position to at least deliver a normal shot at the alien, which could get tricky, but she moves over here. And from this spot, she actually does have a clear shot at the alien, which costs at the moment 17 to use, but I can roll the mouse wheel all the way up to the normal shot here, which costs 22 TU. Of course, it says 23 TU here, because Dora has to turn by 45 degrees to actually hit the alien. This is how the time unit system works. And depending on your taste as far as video gaming goes, you're either extremely angry or extremely relieved that XCOM Enemy Unknown massively simplified it for you. But it's not simplified here. Now, another option that costs time units is kneel, or crouch. A crouched soldier will be able to steady their weapon and shoot more accurately, but crouching costs 3 time units in and of itself. So, let's see, 23 TU, if I add crouching, that's 26 TU. I can actually move one more, I think. If I move another square down here, I have 26 TUs left. I will make more room for other soldiers who might come in to try their luck as well. And I still have enough time units to turn and shoot, and crouch and turn and shoot. So I will do that, which allows me to spot a second alien. And at this point is where you say, fuck. Now I have to check this guy out again. I want to know if he can actually, yes, he can actually, once my turn is over, throw a snake grenade right in this area to obscure my soldiers from the alien fire, make it less likely for them to get hit. So that's good news entirely. Anyway, Dora Hoffman will hold the ground and deliver a normal shot with a hit chance of 57% at this guy. This guy, unfortunately, is also hiding behind these haystacks, but I will get a clear shot at him, probably from over here, which will my sniper will probably be able to deliver. Anyway, let's try this. Luckily, another thing that I have spotted is a friendly guy. Well, presumably friendly, for all I know. This farmer guy with a shotgun is rather angry at anyone invading his property, but I'm assuming in this particular case he will prefer to shoot at the massive 7-foot-tall lizard guys instead of the soldiers with weapons trying to help him. So that's wholly good news. Now, if you were wondering why this alien was allowed to shoot at me even though it was not his turn, this is another part of the game's mechanics. If a soldier has time units left over at the end of a turn, they will be able to use reaction fire during the enemy turn if the enemy provokes reaction fire by certain actions, such as moving inside the line of sight or shooting. The higher soldiers' reflexes, the more likely it is for them that they can actually perform a reaction action. That was a bit redundant, reaction action. So, anyway, these aliens, I think, don't really aim all that well over long distances, so I had kind of the element of surprise there. And this guy probably won't be able to perform another reaction during this round. Now, Victoria Jackson is next, I would say. I'll move her out too. Luckily, this cover goes both well. Now, she too can crouch and shoot. Just so. Just barely. Which hopefully will be another hit, which it was. But of course, there's still room for another soldier to get out. Yuma Takada will not be useful because he can move far enough and still fire his weapon, so he's out. Which means it's up to Nina Schneider, who happens, luckily, to have a whole lot of time units, so maybe she'll be able to deliver a more useful shot at the alien. She's already at the right orientation, so she can crouch and either perform a burst shot at 36% times 3 or one aimed shot at 36%. Which, now this is a bit tricky. 36% times 3 or one shot at 95%. I can either get one shot at an almost certain hit, or 3 shots, at least one of which should be able to hit, but there's a potential that more of them will be able to hit. She has enough time units for both. I will go in this case because it's a pretty good accuracy for burst shot with the burst shot. And I managed to score 2 hits and eliminate one of the aliens, which is a good start. Now, for the second one, this is actually a job for these guys over here. Now, this guy has a sniper rifle, which means I can deploy him in a pretty big distance away, and he will still be able to get a clean shot and hopefully a hit with the aimed fire mode of a sniper rifle. I can crouch, I can aim. I even get a really high accuracy with normal shot mode, but I won't have enough time units left over to do a snapshot after that, so I will go definitely for the aim shot here, which is a clean hit, but not doing a lot of damage, unfortunately. And now I'm slowly running out of guys to try. I have actually run out of guys to try, because this guy has a shotgun, and this guy has the heavy weapons that will not be able to, with the high burst cost, and this guy won't be able to hit. And this guy has already moved just in the wrong direction, which hopefully will not be deadly, have deadly consequences for me, but you never know. Now, as promised, I will actually use this guy to... I must have misread something. Oh yeah! The throw cost is 25 TUs, but because my hands are full with the shotgun, they go up to 33 TUs, so I can actually have this guy throw a smoke grenade. Which means I will move him ahead, here in cover. And Mikael Lindgren, unfortunately, has only 40 time units. He's my slow assault guy. He has to use... He needs 28 time units to throw a smoke grenade. Which probably... Yeah. Pipe dream, really. So I will unfortunately have to go without the defensive benefits of a smoke grenade. Yeah, no such luck with this guy either. Now, one thing I should probably do is check out the rest of the space. Okay. I'll move this guy into crouch mode so that he can shoot any alien that happens to pass by with a bit of a higher accuracy. And I'm not sure what to do with this guy, actually. If I knew how to actually play this game, I would probably know what to do with him, but I will move him over here. The assumption that in the next turn he will be able to deploy his machine gun and shoot something along those lines over here. I'm not really very good at using the machine gun, I think. Now, with a little bit of luck, our non-alien friend over here, the farmer with the shotgun, will be able to inflict some damage, or at least deflect some of the aliens' fire towards him. And at the very least, these guys that are out in the open are all crouched and pretty far away, so hopefully the alien won't kill one of my guys in the very first turn of the game. Now, I can check over here. Our representations of the health bars and time use bars of all soldiers. I can see that every soldier I have has performed pretty much most of their actions for this turn. So I can hit enter and let's see what happens. First there's hidden movement, and that is an unfortunate end for our farmer friend with a shotgun. Which is useful information, because that means there's some alien scum over here, and we have to avenge the lives of what might just be the first, at least, witnessed casualty delivered by the aliens. Now this guy has basically gone into hiding, which is quite cowardly and of course also quite smart. Now there's my two shotgun dudes. The shotgun only has snap and normal shot. It can't really be used in an aimed mode, and doesn't really need a lot of TUs to use those shot modes. But still, both of my assaults are rather far away and probably won't be able to use these all that well. Now, the best odds of actually doing something against this alien is Nora Schneider. Who can move over here, crouch and burst. So she'll do that. Of course, hiding behind this tiny stone fence gives this alien a modicum of cover. But with a little bit of luck, that shouldn't be all that relevant. Luckily, I have managed to deliver a hit. Unluckily, I have attracted reaction fire. Luckily, it missed. So that's good. Now, Dora Hoffman won't be able to move far enough and still deliver a burst shot, I don't think. But I might be wrong. I actually am wrong. I have now suppressed the alien, which means that it loses at least half of its time units for the next turn, so will not be able to retaliate, even if I don't manage to kill it. Which, of course, I would prefer to do. Let's see. Can I hit it from here? No. If I move one square in front, can I hit it? Yes. But I can crouch and still burst. But I think it's more important to burst than to have the crouch. I think. Because the odds for aimed mode aren't very good at any rate. Let's try this. Another hit, but still not enough to kill it. Can my sniper hit it? No. My sniper would have to move a couple of squares in this direction. And we should be able to crouch and still use aimed mode. Yep. Good job. Very good job, man. I salute you. Now, this has taken the actions of 4 soldiers to finish off that one guy. And of course I know that there's some alien scum waiting over here. So I will send my shotgun guys over here, waiting with reaction fire, in the hopes that this distance will not be too much that should do something. The alien will only be visible once they pop out here or here. And that's not all that far away. Let's hope that this doesn't end very, very poorly very soon. Now I'll move my heavy weapons dude in position here. They can do some additional spotting and in position to shoot any alien here. Though of course there's a haystacks and cover in the way, my machine gun should be able to clear some of that cover even if something happens. I'll crouch him in anticipation. And this is about it. What I can do in this direction. And Marcus Larsson, I really don't want to move out without a buddy of some kind in attendance, because sending single men out to die is, I believe, not official Xenonauts doctrine. Or Sylphia doctrine, at any rate. So we'll end the turn again and hope that no one dies. Except for a poor little farmer. Okay, Operation Reaction Fire had moderate success. I managed to score one hit on the alien and popped around the corner. Unfortunately, they retreated right away because they are not stupid. Which leaves me with the question of how to further handle the situation. Now, if I move them closer to this spot, if the alien comes around the corner again, actually part of the hedge has been shot away, so I can look past here. I can lie in wait for him should he pop around the corner. I'm presuming he's hiding somewhere around here. I really wish I could, well, basically shoot at him better, but not really much of hope there. Now these haystacks, as I know, provide 100% cover, so the perfect location for my heavy weapons dude to hide behind. I've successfully spotted the alien too. He'd have to walk an awful long there. I believe he should be safe. That's a lot of distance to cover, and my shotgun dudes are lying in wait already. So I will just let him stand here. And once the turn pops around, he can step to the side and deliver heavy weapon fire over in this direction. I hope, at least. As for my sniper, I will take up a sniping position. Now, unfortunately, the spot I really like to the sniper to stand in is here. And, well, this is pretty far back. I can't actually get behind any cover from there. In that direction. Which leaves me a bit of a dilemma. Where to move this guy. What I can do is move him over here, where he can actually cover something in that direction. Now the sniper rifle has a reaction fire modifier of 0.5. It really sucks at providing reaction fire, but it's better than nothing, as I have determined. Now, here's my rifleman. One of them can actually reach this perfect cover area over here, which I will do right away. The other two, I believe, might be best off moving over here and providing reaction fire. And I will send Dora Hoffmann over into this direction, so Marcus Larsson doesn't have to feel so lonely while he protects the rear. No pun intended. Or innuendos. Because rear, as you see, is another word for ass. Butt. Behind. Posterior. Gluteus maximus. Rear. Anyway. Nothing doing. I spoke too soon. Yeah, I don't want to advance him until I have dealt with the situation over here. That just sounds like a generally poor idea. End of turn. Let's see what this guy has got in store for me. Okay, some reaction fire. And he managed to miss my two soldiers point blank. But unfortunately they got suppressed. Apparently there are no aliens over here because this civilian just ran past me. Completely fine. Into safety, which is good. I am all for that. Now, what to do with this guy? Now, if I step over here, I have just enough time units to deliver a burst fire attack. I will do that. As you can see, the heavy weapon, machine gun mode, can kill an alien with pretty good certainty if you can manage to deploy it correctly. And that is what I did. Now, Nina Schneider is in a position to take up cover behind this haystack and take a peek in this general direction. Everything seems to be just fine. These guys were suppressed during the alien turn, so they can't really move a whole lot of squares. Let's hope that there won't be an alien that manages to somehow shoot at them across this ridge. Is it a ridge? I don't know what to call it. I mean, the hedge is in an elevated position on a small hill, as you can see at the edge of the map here. So even with the hedge gone, this provides pretty good cover. That should be quite safe. Now, Rex Gonzalez, my sniper, and Victoria Jackson, one other my rifleman, will take up position over here in preparation for the uncovering of this area. My sniper will stand here. And I will advance Dora Hoffmann a little bit. Peek past the edge here. And cover it with the action fire. I'll move him over here so he can peek past this edge and cover the reaction fire. Hopefully neither of them bites it, and we end the turn again. That is the sound of UFO doors opening. So there's definitely still some aliens left. Nothing else happened. Right, Victoria Jackson, it is your solemn duty to walk past this edge and look around. Everything seems to be fine in this direction. I'm presuming that nothing's going on untoward is hiding in these 3 squares. Excellent. Sniper is here. Not sure if I want to sit him down, because sitting up also takes 3 time units, so it slows me down a bit. Nina Schneider can run a relatively far distance and still have enough TUs left for time units, because she's my fastest gal. My fastest soldier. My 40 time units assault is fairly useless. I'm tempted to utilize his 70 accuracy by giving him a rifle, and we should allow him to shoot from a distance without having to move all that much. Maybe I can make him a sniper too. And Joshua Martin, my somewhat more usable assault. Well, I don't really have a better idea than just moving him up front a bit too. Yuma Takada, the heavy weapons guy, is pretty slow himself, so all he can do is move up and get closer to where his buddies are operating. Now, I'm tempted to wait with moving these guys until this area is covered, so I can concentrate both of them to checking out this opening. And I don't yet know what awaits me beyond both of these. Well, it's you don't have to move soldiers just because they have time units. As long as they have full time units, they can deliver the maximum amount of reaction fire. Anyway, alien turn again. That was UFO doors again, I believe. Right. Joshua Martin will make it his task to peek past the edge, and indeed those were UFO doors, and indeed there's an alien peeking out from beyond the UFO door. Now, Joshua Martin could probably rush over to where the alien's standing and deliver a snapshot pretty much point blank range, but that just doesn't sound like a very good idea to me. So what he will instead do, because he has the exact right distance to do so, is to throw a grenade, and which apparently also distracts reaction fire, so maybe that wasn't the best of ideas, and retreat back behind the corner again. The grenade alone might not kill the alien, so I will move Victoria Jackson in shooting range. She already is, but I'd like to advance her a little bit because she still has some time units left. And I don't want to accidentally hit my brave assault dude, who's probably the best option to take reaction fire simply because of the enormous amounts of HP he has. And deliver burst fire. Which was abject failure, but yeah, I had to try. Now, there's more potential for fire here. I can move Rex Gonzalez over here, crouch, and deliver an aimed shot, which should be definitely be a hit. And so it was. And now this assault won't be able to do anything, but I can move Nina Schneider over here and deliver another crouched aimed shot, a burst shot. Which is also a full array of misses. I will go for maximum security here and cover this area in smoke with my other assault. And my heavy weapons dude once again is left with no other option but to move up into the general area and ready himself in case another alien pops out, and greet him with all of the machine gun ammo he has to offer. And these guys yet again won't move because I haven't covered this area. The grenade has actually started a fire and injured the alien, but failed to deliver the killing blow. So let's hope that smoke actually does something useful, and it does not. I've actually suffered my first casualty of the day. It is a tragedy. Who died? One thing I'm not sure I really like is that you can't distinguish the female from the male soldiers from a distance. They look exactly the same, which I'm sure is perfectly realistic. So Rex Gonzalez didn't bite it. Nina Schneider didn't bite it. I believe it was Victoria Jackson who just bit it. Though occasionally you can recover them critically wounded, it's not really all that common. Anyway, there's a fire started here. Now, if I just want a thing dead and gone and over with, my best option is this here. Even that wasn't enough, I only managed to suppress it. Aliens sometimes appear to have a frightening degree of health points, which is not good. But Nina Schneider can probably finish it off. Excellent one. I believe the other shots would also have hit, which is kind of a kick in the teeth. And she happens to have enough time units left to be able to deliver the action fire, so that's that. That's good too. Move this guy up so he's able to deliver action fire should another alien pop out their head from behind the curtain. Move this guy in position to do something about it. I'm assuming there's nothing over here because this guy would, if any aliens were hiding over here, they would have said hello already. In hindsight, maybe my sniper would have been the better option to take a shot because their reaction fire is so shit, but if I had hindsight, or if I had foresight, I would not have just lost a soldier. So I have to admit, I'm not sure what else I could have done. I did my best to kill that guy. Who was I to know that some full fire and a grenade wasn't enough? No, I have to take responsibility. It probably was my fault in some way. Now, if I want the maximum amount of... I can move Rex Gonzalez into cover and crouch him behind those haystacks, and he'll be ready to fire at any aliens inside the ship with full time units. That might be a good way of doing it. I'm not sure. I can also move... Well, now it's... Well, reaction fire is gone. It's no longer an option, so... And I screwed up, so I can't crouch him. Wow, I'm bad at this game. Why did I use veteran mode? I have a death wish of some kind. I really don't want to move them yet. Okay, who dies now? Man, I'm terrible. Okay, civilian runs away scared. Good choice, good choice. Looks like everything is fine. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. No one else died. That's a start. Now, my sniper is in position. So why not just open that damn ship again? Sniper in crouching mode. Aim and fire. Okay, I had pretty good cover, so that probably was fairly safe, all things considered. I'll move my assault. Yeah, I moved both assaults in range and just unload shotgun ammunition. There's one alien left and 2 assaults and shotgun. And 1 shotgun was enough. Shotguns are pretty useful just for these precious few situations where you have to assault an alien craft. Now, if those were the last aliens, then the mission would be over automatically, so I can conclude there are still some aliens left on the map. And there's plenty of map left, so I'm not yet done. Now I've got another assault left over. I can cover some distance over here. Well, if there were an alien anywhere in this area, this guy would have bitten it by now, so I can conclude this is safe. This is clear. I've got two guys left over here. One of them is a rifleman. I can just move over Nina Schneider in this area and check that out. Everything seems fine over there. I'll now move Dora Hoffmann over here. Everything clear over here. She can sit down here again and check this corner out. I'll have Marcus Larson do the same in the assumption that nothing will come over from there. If something comes over from there, Nina Schneider can probably see it. I hope. I'm really botching this, I'm pretty sure. Oh lordy, oh lordy. Now, not sure what useful things I can do with my heavy weapons, dude. So I have him run over here. And I believe I'm out of town units again, so that's that. Whew. And I spotted another alien. Wonderful. Never have a moment of peace. Though this alien was out of time units, which means I get to move first. Now, if only Joshua Martin can move out of the way, I can deliver some succulent heavy weapon hell. On the other hand, Joshua Martin also has a pretty good shot with pretty good opportunity to help kill this alien with his rifle. So I'll just move him out far enough that he won't take autocannon fire, but that he will be able to finish the job. Now I don't want to move him farther here because that increases, I think that increases the chance that I'll hit that civilian. I'll just crouch down over here and start doing this. I actually suppressed the civilian, but fortunately he didn't get hit. I believe that was an acceptable risk to take overall. Which leaves Joshua Martin with the ability to deliver 2 snapshots of shotgun. With a successful result. And good news, everyone. Corporal Victoria Jackson survived with 1 of her 57 HP, which makes her wounded for 33 days. And she also earned a Crimson Heart. So good news there. And apart from that, the mission was won. 6 of 6 aliens killed. I had 1 casualty who survived, and the only guy who died on the scene was Farmer with a shotgun from the first turn. Rest his soul. We earned some money, and that was, I believe, the successful first mission in the game of Xenonauts, and I believe it's long overdue to end the recording for now. So I wish you, if this was interesting to you, maybe I will continue this Let's Play. I'm pretty sure I'll at least keep playing for a little while after this. But in case we don't see each other again, I believe you may have seen enough to determine if this game may be of interest to you or not. Which isn't really the main purpose of doing this, but it also may have been enough to determine whether you may keep watching or not. At least I hope you were bored to tears with my first episode of this Let's Play of Xenonauts. And I wish you a good day until next time.